South Texas, our reporters are at the Pharr International Bridge. And they had to get out of there because of, quote, a dangerous situation. So they're going to be connecting with us soon. I didn't intend to come in with danger zone when the reporters just had to disconnect and get out of there. So I don't know what's happening right now down there on the border. But the trains of death are arriving daily. All the way from Central America, they're given passage. As long as they do not jump off the train, they're not taken to forced labor camps in Mexico. Mexico has always had the most draconian immigration laws in this hemisphere. Even the New York Times admits that. The shame of Mexico's immigration law, I think, was the headline last year. But now they've made a deal that unlimited from Guatemala all the way down to El Salvador. The Gazette.com, Colorado Gazette reports, with the charities, the Catholic Church and others that are loading up the people and bringing them up into the United States, where the Border Patrol militarily salutes, puts them on buses to bring them in deeper, gives them vouchers to be sent to whoever they want to go to. I mean, just open borders with the government conduiting the Central and South American people, the destitute with their children. I mean, just pouring in. This is an unbelievable criminal operation. And they're going to get away with it. And they're going to get away with funding al-Qaeda to take over Iraq and Syria, calling them ISIS, and they're going to get away with anything, I guess, if we let them. And here's the issue about crime. Once a government gets to this level with tyranny, the sky's the limit. And we've now reached it. You think this is crazy? They'll probably start arresting people like me and just shooting patriots in the street or something, and then a civil war will start. I mean, there's Staff Sergeant Joe Biggs has no criminal record. I'm going to get him on the air about this maybe tomorrow. I just got swamped with the news. And he sold the 3 or 4 guns he had. He's been in the Army, gone for years. Before he moved down here to raise some cash, he got down here, and he wants to get a rifle and, stuff to go shooting with us. And he goes in, time after time, they go, oh, sorry, you've been denied. We'll call you back, and they never do. Well, it's supposed to then trigger that they're supposed to give you the gun. There's no record. They won't do it. He, honorable discharge, he's got the plaque on his office, Purple Heart plaques, the whole 9 yards, Esquire magazine articles about him jumping off armored vehicles and stabbing al-Qaeda in the neck and all the rest of it. I mean, he's a well-known soldier, and he cannot get a gun. And most vets I know, Korea War vets, Vietnam vets, I know guys that are grandpas. One guy's a famous NFL football player, was a UT football player, and I talked to him at a party, a birthday party years ago. This has been going on for a while, about 5 years ago, and he cannot get a rifle for his grandson, and he can't buy guns. He's got dozens of guns, has no criminal record. No one will sell him a gun. And that's because there's this lawlessness. I mean, the illegals are legal. There's no law. They just do it. It's violating the law. There's no law. They can't give him a gun. But they won't sell him one because it's all digital under FBI control and the NICS system. And you've seen Bill Clinton when he left office. They denied 87,000 troops being able to have guns. They just put them on a list if they'd ever even been interviewed for PTSD. Well, you're not allowed to own guns if you have PTSD. Half the time the diagnosis is wrong. But the issue here is this is the undemocratic extrajudicial purge where the bureaucracy does whatever it wants and selectively enforces laws or doesn't even follow the law. And that's what this whole digital system's about. That's why they want to ban private sales. That's why they want to ban you selling your neighbor a gun or giving your son a gun or giving grandpa a gun or vice versa. I've given my dad probably 4 guns over the years. He's probably given me 10 guns. And I've got them all. And they've all gone up in value. And the reason you get more guns is they're cool. You want to have more. You shoot them. You talk to them. It's a culture. And extrajudicially, folks, if they can get the veterans, they're going to get us all. A lot of people go, I don't care. I'm not a veteran. I don't care if they take their guns. I love this self-centered way people think. As if, oh, it's not happening to me today. Like, I don't care. I don't own a coal power plant. Why do I care if they shut it off? Because half your energy comes from it, dummy. People they think their ignorance and their arrogance is a shield. It's not. It's an enslavement. Okay, they just reconnected from the Pharr Bridge. That's the name of the bridge. They'll tell you the town they're near. This is where Breitbart was Sunday, where the Border Patrol told them they couldn't be there, quote, for their safety. They're at the International Bridge right down on the edge of the border and the Rio Grande on the United States side, right there by Military Highway 281. And they are reporting from that area. I want them to tell us why they just had to pull out a moment ago to a, quote, safer place, what run-ins they've had with the Border Patrol. He's trying to keep the press out of the area because they don't want people getting video of this train of death coming in, and other things that happened since I talked to him on the Sunday show last night. Kit Daniels and Rob Jacobson reporting from the border. Kit, what can you tell us?
Well, we just drove from Brownsville, Texas, about 60 miles parallel to the Mexican border to reach here, Pharr International Bridge. And this entire time, we've seen only one Border Patrol vehicle, this entire trip. Yet, we've seen maybe 4 or 5 state troopers on the way up here. And we, last night, we randomly took a side road near the border, near Brownsville. And we encountered a wide open border gate, completely wide open, unguarded. And I wanted to come here to emphasize the fact that here, an international bridge, which is very well known, it looks like an actual what you would expect on the border. But going back to the south where we came from on this to reach here, we've seen several holes in the border fence, and it's just unbelievable. And only one Border Patrol agent.
Well, you know, I told you this basically was the headline yesterday. National Review went with it today. What an open border looks like. In the Rio Grande Valley, illegal border crossers are surrendering voluntarily. That is the headline today, Kit. That's what's happening. The Border Patrol is now a delivery agent, a taxi service to get them to Greyhound buses and pay for the ticket. And so what we want to do here is go with that and then go with the headline in the video. Border Patrol leaves border gates open. Border Patrol stands down. Subheadline, border effectively erased. And then just write about how they're a taxi service, showing the Jakari Jackson video of them admitting they pay to now get them into the interior. And we have total treason documented. Then cherry on top in the article you're going to write tonight, and again, you've done a fabulous job, is why are there checkpoints on the highways? Why is there Army at the Kite Festival in Austin searching people? Why is the TSA groping us? This is total sickening treason. This is unbelievable. Kit, please continue reporting.
And I read Kurt Nimmo's article this morning about Senator Feinstein saying, hey, another 9/11 is going to happen. The terrorists are just going to, we got to have intelligence, abuse of force amendment to save us from terrorists. But what I've seen the past 2 days is wide open borders where illegal aliens can just roam across the border with impunity. And when they do encounter Border Patrol agents, the few that actually do, they are treated better than what we're treated when we are in line at the airport with TSA. So it shows you to look into the border collapse that's now occurring is key to understanding how government spins reality. So they will take it goes back to the Roman Emperor Diocletian's problem, reaction, solution. They're going to take a crisis or a government-created crisis and spin it to their agenda to take away our rights, but at the same time, expand government powers. That's what we're seeing right now. It's key to understand that the government is using this for not only their own agenda, but they're also spinning the war on terrorism to fit their own agenda as well.
Well, Kit, you've done a great job. We're going to come back to you in a few minutes. That lob's a little windy there in the high wind. We're going to try to go to handheld here. So I'm going to go back to you in just a moment there. Our reporters down on the South Texas border with Mexico confirming just all sorts of critical data. Again, we broke last week, and Drudge Report carried it. DrudgeReport.com carried the Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com articles confirming that the Border Patrol buses them in from the border and then pays to put them on Greyhound to ship them anywhere they want to go. That's confirmed on video. The border is wide open. But if I want to go to a UT football game, they now have TSA-style checkpoints. A man will grab my genitals. So I'm not going, even though I don't want to see the game anyways. I'm not going. and families in town might want to go. I still occasionally, every few years, will go to a UT football game just to see the spectacle of the simulated warfare and people being turned into animals. But expanding on all of that, it is just absolutely incredible that we have gotten to this point as a society that the government can openly fund al-Qaeda, and we cover it for 3 years plus the proxy war in Syria. Then they change the name from al-Qaeda to ISIS and have them invade Iraq. And Obama goes, I don't think I'll help the president. I don't think I'll help the prime minister. We're just going to, let them take over. Because they run them. I mean, I'm getting to the point now with cops or anybody running around all paranoid like there's terrorists everywhere. It's an excuse to take over. And to be down there and see border gates just open and to have the Border Patrol come up to our guys, I want to have them go back down to the border checkpoint that's only about 100 yards away, because guaranteed they'll run up and say, get out of here, get out of here. Then we can say, hey, we're here to report that you guys are busing them into the country and giving them vouchers. We need that interaction with them showing that they're being told this. That is absolutely essential. But there's the headline. City official admits Border Patrol fronting cash to bus illegals. Border Patrol purchasing bus tickets, vouchers for illegal immigrants while saddling border towns with housing burden. I mean, it literally is to collapse the country. The most poor, no jobs, no school, multiple kids, women just showing up to go directly on the welfare roll and to vote 100% Democratic. And the Republican leadership's going along with it because they want to defeat the Tea Party. They want to balkanize and break the country up. Were we able to get a better mic? All right, well, we'll have to go back to that one if it doesn't have, maybe it broke, I don't know. But maybe we can get them to go down by the Border Patrol checkpoint itself or tell us why they moved from that position to where they're at. Maybe get into an area where there's not a bunch of wind so we can talk to them. But again, ladies and gentlemen, reporting for Infowars.com from the border. I mean, listen, they say it's racist if you point out that totally undocumented illegals carry diseases. I mean, have you been to South America, Central America? Doctors warn of looming health crisis due to flood of young illegal immigrants. Well, that's what it's supposed to do, is bankrupt the country. What do you think Obamacare is? What do you think Cloward and Piven is? What do you think Agenda 21 is? What do you think shutting down the power plants is? This is the reality. New sensors will scoop up big data on Chicago. Metal fixtures going up will grab that look like pieces of sculpture, but they'll provide big step forward as Chicago understands itself by observing the city's people and surroundings. Inside of the sculptures will be, quote, data collection sensors. And see, they call it a air quality, light intensity, sound volume. That's microphones. See, they're not putting up light poles that have microphones that listen to you. It's a sound volume or gunshot detector, though it's used to listen to you, see? I mean, this is 1984. It's not Chicago's putting up Homeland Security-funded systems that have cell towers hidden in them. We broke this a few months ago in Seattle to steal all your data, and it turns out it's illegal, so they had to stop. No. In Chicago, it's a sculpture. You're not against art, are you? New sensors will scoop up big data on Chicago. The sensors will also count people by measuring wireless signals on mobile devices. This was put in 8 years ago, first in England, now in other cities in the U.S. last year and this year. And it tracks everything you do in real time, bypassing even the telecoms, paying to get the data from them. It just government's going to grab the data from you itself, but also have its own network. But it's in a sculpture. Yeah, I mean, come on. And people still keep making jokes about me covering the New York Times years ago about the new light bulbs can have wireless systems put into them that flicker data to communicate with new sensors that come in computer pads or that are inside the computer that then lets the government remote access your computer. I mean, that's New York Times, and it's a big liberal thing making fun of me that he thinks the light bulbs are spying on you. Okay, we've got the crew back, guys. What was it you said that was a dangerous area you were in, and so you guys had to move before coming on? What happened there, and what else has been unfolding, Kit?
We took a back road just south of the highway to look for a place near the border fence to make our shoot. And we passed by a police station, like a little small town police station, which just so happens to have one of those surveillance towers. And we looked at it, I was like, wow, what is that? Why is that out here? So we kept driving, and it's just wide open fences, no border patrol whatsoever. It gives you a really eerie, uncomfortable feeling. It's all just brushland. Like just about anybody can hide anywhere out there.
Now, we've got a report you filed. I thought it was coming. You guys did such a great job shooting this. It's already done. We're going to premiere it here coming up in the next segment and keep you some into overdrive. Kit Daniels and Rob Jacobson reporting from the Texas border. But in this new video, and I think we're going to title it, I guess, Border Wide Open, Border Patrol Stands Down, or Border Patrol Leaves Gates Open. I guess we already have the video of that we're about to show folks when we come back from break. Describe what else you've seen, Kit.
It just hit me like a ton of bricks. The state troopers and the small town cops here are doing a better job at border security than what the Border Patrol can do. That's why we just saw a city surveillance tower right near the border. Like driving up here, we saw like two or three state troopers parked just every so often down the highway. The state of Texas and the local police are having to step in to protect the border.
And let's be clear, just like in Mexico, the government wouldn't do its job and disarm the people, so the crime rate exploded. Citizens got guns illegally, restored order. Just like the feds are stepping back, that's a major important angle right there to confirm and then do a report on when you guys get back, because I know you're coming back tonight, is the fact that Texas steps in when Border Patrol stands down. Because you say you've seen almost no Border Patrol, and I've been down there. It's usually crawling. So now you're seeing state police and locals having to step in.
And I want to emphasize that the Border Patrol agent that we did see, he was just on the shoulder of Highway 281, and is likely probably taking a phone call. It wasn't like we saw him out in the Badlands that we just drove through.
This is Leanne McAdoo for InfoWarsLife.com. I'm here with Dr. Edward Group, master herbologist and chief formulator behind the InfoWars Life products. Dr. Group, what have you been hearing from women who've started taking Super Female Vitality?
You know, we've heard the reviews and feedback from Super Male Vitality, from emails to even excited callers on the radio. Now, the answer for women is here. A new formulation specifically designed for the female body, Super Female Vitality, delivers 10 key herbs that work synergistically to revitalize the unique biology of women.
I'm so glad that you guys made this for women. When he brought me home the bottle of Super Female, I had tons of energy, tons of motivation, a lot of drive. My husband thinks I've been in a better mood. Our relationship, all I can say is it's a lot better now.
I've just started taking Super Female Vitality from InfoWarsLife.com. Supplies are limited, so secure yours today at InfoWarsLife.com, InfoWarsStore.com, or dial 1-888-253-3139.
All right, final segment of the main transmission. We'll do some overdrive with Kit Daniels and Rob Jacobson. I also kind of want to get Rob Jacobson's take on what he's seen while he's been down there in overdrive, so perhaps we'll do that. We're going to their report that shows the Border Patrol leaving gates open now and just leaving at night. I mean, that's how wide open this is. This is totally insane. Before I go any further, please remember this hour was brought to you by MyPatriotSupply.com/Alex, MyPatriotSupply.com/Alex, where you find their specials. Super high quality, great customer service. This is where I get my storable foods. They're trying to collapse society. You're insane if you don't have storable food. MyPatriotSupply.com/Alex. Check them out today, and they're great sponsors as well. So it's a win-win-win. Great company. You get great food. Supports the broadcast. MyPatriotSupply.com. Let's go ahead and go to the border report showing more evidence of a complete treasonous stand down.
In the border city of Brownsville, Texas, the incredible decrease of Border Patrol activity emphasizes that not only is the Border Patrol stretched thin, but agents are also being pressured to stand down from enforcing immigration laws as the federal government also begins to enact a media blackout on America's vanishing borders.
We're here at the international border in Brownsville, Texas, and as you can see, there's hardly any Border Patrol whatsoever, even at the border.
You would think with the current flood of tens of thousands of immigrants from Central America overwhelming our borders, Brownsville would be crawling with Border Patrol vehicles. But on the extreme contrary, we saw, no exaggeration, well over 10 times as many Border Patrol vehicles parked at various facilities than we saw driving the streets in and around Brownsville. In fact, we stood for well over an hour outside the border checkpoint in the city and only saw maybe one Border Patrol vehicle every 10 to 15 minutes drive by. Just look at this wide open border fence. It's at night and nobody's guarding it. It's wide open. This just highlights the illusion of border security by the Obama administration. Consider the fact that the surge of immigrant youth has increased from 6,500 in 2011 to 90,000 this year alone, an increase of over 1,300%, and it's crystal clear that the Obama administration is forcing the Border Patrol to back off of enforcing existing immigration laws. One of the very few Border Patrol agents that we observed actually patrolling South Texas took a very keen interest in us. As you can see, he speeds up to catch up to our vehicle and likely ran our plates. We tried to flag him down and talk to him, but he didn't respond. He tailed us very closely for several minutes, nearly all the way into downtown Brownsville before he finally peeled off. We were driving around the border. I guess he took an interest in us. We're standing outside an illegal immigration detention facility about 40 miles northeast of Brownsville, Texas. Well, we drove down to the guard station and asked if we could take a tour of the facility as journalists, but they refused, told us to turn around, and even told us to stop recording. Yeah, we're journalists out of Austin. Is it possible for us to take a look around?
No, sir.
Drive around? No?
You will have to call in and get an appointment. There's signs. You do have warning signs not to be recorded.
Okay, that's fine. Over the past few weeks, the feds have been shutting down areas immediately on the U.S. side of the border, which have traditionally been open to the public. There they are closing them down by citing safety concerns. Do not enter. Authorized personnel only. Signs like these have been popping up in the last couple of weeks on our side of the border. They keep the public and the press away and in the dark about the border collapse. This is simply a media blackout that allows the Obama administration to control the narrative on illegal immigration.
Oh, boy. I tell you, just seeing our borders wide open, seeing the Border Patrol going after the media, seeing the Border Patrol pay to ship people deeper into the U.S., seeing them leave the gates open at night. They've been given orders to get rid of the border, North American Union. Kit, any other points you think are important to make or breaking news you're going to have when you get back to Austin? Any little prelude to there or anything Jacobson, running camera, would like to say about his observations?
Well, first, I want to point out that sign right there. I don't know if you can see it on air. That is the largest gun control sign I've ever seen in my life. It's exactly the kind of signs that Michael Bloomberg would love to see on every street corner in America.
Yeah, earlier, before your Skype degraded, it was crystal clear. It said, warning, firearms and ammunition are illegal in Mexico. You will be arrested. And you should get some digital photos of that. That's a whole other story to show how they have the highest crime rate in the world. And there it is. Bloomberg should love it because only the drug dealers and the criminal government have the weapons.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they might as well put a sign on the Mexican side that says, "Welcome to the USA, criminals." And that big of a sign. The second point I wanted to make is that we talk a lot about Cloward and Piven. As far as I saw an article on InfoWars, I think about 2 weeks ago, about how Cloward and Piven is being used to bring in amnesty. But it goes beyond that. Cloward and Piven is being used to bring in the North American Union. We see the CIA the past several decades basically collapse South America and Central America with their misdeeds. And then now we see Mexico is pretty much opening up their southern border because they're going to believe that El Norte will take care of the problem. So they're like, well, they're not going to stay in Mexico. They're just going to go up north. So why should we worry about it?
Yeah, now Senator Cornyn says give money to Mexico, billions, so that they'll make it more orderly, and they'll probably fund first-class tickets up here. The Republican leadership is deeply involved. This is the North American Union plan to take over this country on record. And that's a great point that you make about, listen, we say Cloward and Piven because I'd covered it over a decade ago. Glenn Beck had kind of popularized it. Agenda 21, all of it is create crises, offer the solution. It's the Hegelian dialectic. But Cloward and Piven is a very good example of the Democrats honing it down to an economic model. And that's what this is. And you watch, they've already said, amnesty is the way to fix the flood of illegals because you just make them legal.
Absolutely. And it goes back to what I said earlier about problem, reaction, solution. Senator Feinstein's looking at, oh, well, terrorism, we have to we have to give the NSA more funding and more power to save us from terrorists. It's a typical problem, reaction, solution.
And then they're funding and running and helping the terrorists. Well, you've got a lot to report when you get back. A lot of HD videos about to go live on Infowars.com. If you're a radio listener and missed what we just played, we'll have the full report up there. But again, great job. I know it's a dangerous area. I appreciate both of you. You want to, Jacob's going to just aim the camera at the sign if he wants. Ask him if he's got any final points he wants to make.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Alex. It was pretty shocking to me last night when we drove up on that open gate. I was actually pretty startled. And my impression was like, well, they just opened it up. Come on in. Why not just have a big red carpet for them? And this morning, doing a little thinking, it occurred to me we have a government that doesn't deport illegal aliens. They're actually importing illegal aliens. And it's pretty troubling, kind of a Twilight Zone place in history that we're living in right now, and we should all pay attention to the fact that there are wide 50-yard holes just open for anybody to walk through on literally hidden little roads in the back of Texas.
And then now they're blocking them so the media can't get there. That's not just us, but others confirming it. It's no longer the Border Patrol. It's now the Immigrant Importation Agency. So that'd be IIA. They're going to change the name. We need a satire article.
You are watching the best of the Alex Jones Show, weekdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central. Watch live at Infowars.com/show or become a member of InfoWarsNews.com and help us take resistance to the next level.